Hey, welcome to the Sales Hunter podcast. I'm Mark Hunter. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to increase your closing ratio by prospecting better. This is counterintuitive because most people sit there and say, well, my closing ratio's low. I need to figure out how to negotiate better. No, it's not your closing, it's your opening. It's how you prospect better. Let's get into the show right now.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
When it comes to closing deals, Calendly knows how important maintaining momentum is for your sales team. Calendly provides the automation you need to connect with your best leads faster and schedule every meeting throughout your sales cycle. Prevent scheduling delays that stall deals and let your team focus on what they do best, driving revenue. Request your demo of Calendly today. We'll put the link in the show notes. Now, hey, let's get into this whole thing here, because how do you increase your closing ratio? Yes, it starts by prospecting better. And it actually starts by staying in your lane. Hey, quit thinking just because your customer is in your sales funnel, you're going to close them. No, you can't. Top performers don't even subscribe to that model. So quit thinking you can. The reason they don't is because they don't allow those types of customers to even take up space in their sales funnel. See, the most important asset we have is our time. It's not our customers. It's not what we sell. It's our time. And when we spend time with customers only to be not successful in closing them, then we've misused our most important asset, our time. And what I see happening is too many salespeople, what they do is they wind up with bad customers in their funnel. They're so determined to close them that they'll cut whatever deal is necessary to be able to try to get them to close. So here's the deal. Bad closing, and in turn, bad use of our time, is a result of the following. Okay, and I want you to take note of these 5 things I'm going to share with you right now. Spending time with prospects outside of your ICP, your ideal customer profile. I've talked a lot about that before. I got other episodes out there that talk about that. Jump into them. 2, not understanding the need the customer has. See, if you don't understand the need of the customer, has, how are you ever going to close them? You're not. Number 3, failing to create trust and confidence with the customer. See, the greater the level of trust and confidence, the easier it will be to sell. The easier it will be to close and close at full price. Number 4, failing to know the timeline and process the customer is working with to make a decision. Ooh, huge. See, too many times people wind up with customers in their funnel, but their timeline is a year out, 6 months out, 9 months out. Whoa. Sucking valuable time from you. Number 5, failing to understand the ramifications the customer's dealing with and what happens if they don't make a decision, or how the decision you want them to make fits into their bigger picture. What do I mean by this? What you sell may be a part that goes into something bigger, may be part of other decisions that have to be made. So they can't make a decision on you until they make a decision on the other things. Or 2, or the other half of that one is the simple fact that if they don't make a decision, there's a real risk to their business. I encounter this all the time. Customers will sit there and say, hey, if we don't make a decision, if we don't hire you, there's going to be a huge ramification or loss of business. You see, all of these can and must be fleshed out in the prospecting phase. See, this is why if you want to go fast in the end, you have to be prepared to go slow at the start. Okay, what does all this mean? Well, this means very simply, you got to qualify, and it's more than just securing a next step. Too many times what happens is salespeople will wind up getting a next step, but they're not really qualifying the customer. Qualifying is getting answers to each of the 5 questions I laid out above. The reason is simple. During the prospecting phase, the customer is more relaxed and forthcoming with really information, good information. If we go into the closing phase with the expectation of getting answers to the questions, then we're going to be misled. The reason is simple. The customer once we get to the close, knows if they throw up some barriers, they're going to get a better deal. Hey, it's called negotiating. What does this mean? It means if we wait until this phase to get the information we need, we'll wind up with bad information. This is what makes prospecting so important. I work with companies all the time that have massive deals in the pipeline, sitting right at the closing stage, but they never move because they're stuck having to go back and get answers to the first 5. And the problem is because the deals are so big, they won't let go of them. And in reality, there's little chance of the deal ever closing without massive concessions that would make the deal stupid. But see, if they had prospected better, it never would have gotten into the pipeline. Here's the deal. You have to be prepared to ask tough questions early on, certainly during the discovery call, if not before. The tougher you are early on, the more you'll thank yourself later on. Why? It's simple. You'll qualify out prospects who don't want to spend time with you. You'll qualify out prospects who don't have the right answers to the questions you're looking for. See, this is why you've got to get answers to the 5 questions I shared earlier. We increase our closing ratio when we increase our prospecting qualification skills. Yeah, there is a direct correlation. Your goal is to stay in your lane, know your ICP, and ask the tough questions earlier to get you the answers that you need. And it's amazing. See, the idea of bad closing skills is a red herring. It is an absolute red herring. Focus on your prospecting, and you'll see your closing ratio increase. And a nice side benefit is you'll close more deals at a higher price because the better you understand the 5 questions, the more confidence the customer will have in you. And guess what? The higher the degree of trust and confidence, the less likelihood there is in negotiation, and the higher the price they'll pay for you, what you sell. You see, bad closing starts with bad prospecting. You see, what are we talking about here? I don't want you to focus in on what you think is the elephant in the room, because the elephant's not what you think it is. The elephant is not your closing ratio. The elephant is your opening, your prospecting. Hey, with that, I want to say thanks for listening, and thank you, Calendly, for sponsoring today's show and continue to help sales teams focus on driving revenue. Hey, prevent scheduling delays that stall deals and let your team focus on what they do best, driving revenue. Request your demo of Calendly today. Hey, I do trust you value the content shared, and you'll take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Each week, you get 2 shows. One, a short sales insight like this from me, and the second, an interview with a leading sales expert. The Sales Hunter Podcast, your answer to quick sales insights. I'm Mark Hunter. Thanks for listening.